Welcome to Spain. We are here at the beautiful Mijas Golf Course on the Costa del Sol. Today we're going to be playing the Olivos Course. What can a mere 10 handicap golfer, shoot at this absolutely stunning course? Let's get into the video and find out. So the first hole here is a friendly one. It's a downhill short par 4. It's 300 yards long. And there's not much danger out there. So I thought, you know what? Let's not mess about. What we're going to do is we're just going to hit a hybrid down there and have a nice short wedge in. Don't want to try and do anything stupid like go for the green, get myself in that front bunker. So I absolutely smoked the hybrid. I won't lie. Really pure connection. Ends up in a nice spot at the bottom of the hill just as we drew up. And now we are going to have that short approach in that we were looking for. So got my 56 degree, got about 60 yards in. It is elevated. You can see here that we put a nice swing on it. And we'll cut to the drone cam. You can see it just bounce on the front edge and it rolls up to the hole, leaving us about 12 foot for a birdie putt. Now I'm jumping in here, guys, because you're probably expecting to see me hit a putt. Unfortunately, this is where everything went wrong. In fact, everything had already been going wrong up until this point. Equipment-wise, I somehow managed to mess up. I didn't bring the right memory card for my microphone, so the whole video is going to be post-com. That's number one. Number two, you're not going to see me make this birdie because unfortunately my phone ran out of storage and just cut just as I was about to hit the putt. But we did make it, so we're one under through one. I did bring my GoPro, so I did manage to record the rest of the rounds. However, when I was taking my phone out of the case, which makes it connect to the tripod, I managed to slightly bend the screen and I broke my phone. I didn't have a phone for 5 days because I was in Spain. Let's jump back into the action. We're on hole number 2. You can see that the drone is actually going sideways here because we are dead into a headwind here. It is a par 4. It's about 392 yards long, obviously playing a lot longer. You can see the trees and stuff on the right moving, how heavy the wind is. I'm probably going to say that it's almost like a 3-club wind at some time. So we get a decent drive off. We find the left rough. We've got some trees to deal with. So I'm looking to try and play a draw around this tree with a hybrid from about 190 yards. And that's what happens sometimes if I try and hit a draw. I can just block it really hard. And I had to reload because I thought that ball had gone into a housing compound. The second attempt, much better, and doesn't quite make the green, but it's just short on the front edge. So not too bad. We go looking for that first ball, and with a bit of luck, we find it. We have a swing. However, from 50 yards out, we don't take advantage because, yeah, I played it absolutely clunky. So it goes straight through the green. You can see here bouncing through into the bunkers at the back. And yeah, we're with David, who's my brother. He's joining us for this round. He's manning the camera here, just in time to watch me absolutely send this ball past the flag again. Will we ever get it on the green? Well, yeah, eventually we do. And we get it pretty close. However, after our good start, tapping him for a double is not really what I was after, and we go to 1 over through 2. So we're now onto a par 3, not a long one. It's about 156 yards, but again, it is into wind. We hit a pretty terrible shot. I really struggled actually with this rental set, I won't lie. I really like the driver. We were using dark speed, so Cobra dark speed set, and that was the irons and also drivers. And then we had the Cobra wedges, which I have used before. I really struggled with the irons, which is understandable because I don't really use, I think they're called cavity back irons, sort of like the game improvement. I don't use those anymore, and they are extremely heavy in the head. So I was finding it difficult to hit the irons. I always struggle with approach, and this did not help in the slightest. And for some reason, the wedges weren't going all that well this day either. We're using a Cobra putter. Obviously, I use a lab most of the time. So yeah, just a lot of changes and stuff to get used to. I think that missed little putt there was inexcusable. We should have walked off with a bogey, but it's back-to-back doubles to go 3 over through 3. We've got this par 4 now. It's a dogleg round to the right. I absolutely sent that. And yeah, just about made contact with the ball. It came out very low and thin, but it did manage to get up there a long way. We had about, I think it was about 100 yards in, and yeah, I chunked it there. So we ended up coming up short. We've got a nice chip on here, and we just about get it through that Bermuda rough. It's quite difficult, this Bermuda rough. It's not like the UK where you can kind of like bounce it through. It really does grab the ball, so you need to be landing the ball more on the green, or otherwise you might be in a bit of trouble. And you can see here we do clear up for a bogey to go 4 over through 4. People say that bogey golf is good golf. I won't lie, at this stage of my golfing career, I'm not quite in that boat. I don't like making bogeys, especially when the hole hasn't been that challenging for me, and I've just made a mistake at some point. So yeah, you can see here that we are turning up on a par 4. This was a really daunting hole. The driving spot was really difficult because you kind of have those trees on the left that are cutting in. So I decided to cut off those trees and just hope that I didn't end up in the bunker. Got very, very lucky here because that fairway bunker would have been really difficult to get out of, especially since I've still got about 195 yards in on this shot. And you can see that I think that was a really nice swing, but unfortunately we just pulled it left and the wind was coming a little bit off the... we pulled it left and the wind was coming off the right, so that just meant we ended up in the bunker. And I won't lie, when I contacted Mijas to ask to come and play the Olivos Course, they said they'd much rather I came and played the other course, the Lagos, which I've played before. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to do the same course again in the videos, but they said we're having a huge renovation project in 2026 in which we are going to redo all of the bunkers, and the bunkers in this round, I mean, they weren't particularly good. There was a little bit of sand in there, but it was more like kind of like when you have the mud raked up, so it's a little bit fluffy. I know you can't really blame that for not finding a way out of bunkers, having 2 shots in a bunker. But yeah, me and my brother, we just had to try and avoid the bunkers. Unfortunately, they were absolutely everywhere on this course. So you can see this par 3. We hit a nice little one here, and unfortunately, it comes up quite a bit short. So we've got a very, very long putt. We really need to get off the bogey / double bogey train that we're on. And you can see here that I am looking a little bit like I'm going to end up on it again because I have left that hideously short. I think that was about a 45-foot putt, and we got it maybe about 2/3 of the way there. My brother and me were having a match, and I saw him make this putt, and I was like, damn, I need to make my putt or otherwise he's going to take the hole. And thanks for the read, David, because, yeah, you gave me exactly what I needed. And I'm off the bogey train, and we're 6 over through 6. So let's go and hit another one here. We're on to a short par 4. This one is, I believe, only about 309 yards. So not a very long one, but it is uphill. Really cool when you're down the bottom end of the course. You can see that you've got like all the lakes and stuff in front of you, and there's some really nicely framed holes. You can see there that kind of like those trees give you like the gap to aim through to get up to the fairway. I hit a really, really good one here. I must have left myself maybe about 50 yards, probably tops. So to do this, which you're about to witness, was really frustrating because I did not give it enough beans. I think I clipped it a little bit heavy, hit the edge of the bunker, and it rolls in. So now we are coming out of the bunker. It's not a bad bunker shot. I think we leave ourselves about 20 foot, something like that. I give it a really good roll. After that short putt that I missed, I actually really, really got to grips with the putter and the greens. I felt very confident on them. And you can see there that unfortunately we just leave it short for another bogey. So 7 over through 7. We're going to have to improve on the back 9 because we are flying through the numbers right now. And you can see what I'm talking about with that bunker on the left. Some of them have a bit of water in them because they're obviously not sand and they're not draining and all that sort of jazz. So yeah. That is something that is going to be improved massively soon. This is the par 3, and I think I took way too much club because I thought, you know what, I'm into wind. Maybe the wind dropped or something because the ball ended up going right through the back. I was kind of shocked. I thought it was in the bunker at first, which would have been even worse. But we've got a chance here just to do a nice little chip, and yep, boom. We hit the edge or the leading edge of the club. And we are now a mile away. We put a really good roll on this. Look at this roll. I thought, you know what, that's in the whole way. And then it literally kissed the edge of the hole and just wobbled out. So that means that we are another bogey, and we are 8 over through 8. Now we're moving on to our first par 5 of the day. It's a 479-yard hole, but it is uphill. I thought I potentially could get there in 2. I could hit a decent drive. The wind wasn't really into on this one. So, yeah, we go with driver. And driver seems to be my club of choice in this round. I just absolutely love it. In fact, I feel very, very confident, even as I'm speaking a week or 2 after recording this round. I feel very, very comfortable with my driver. I wish I could say the same for this 3-wood though, because yeah, no, I topped it. It did go like 100 yards or so, which left us, I think, just a pitching wedge in for this next shot. But yeah, the 3-wood, I've been topping them a lot recently. So there was a stage that I was just like, oh yeah, I can hit 3-wood. I'm very confident with it. But yeah, it's all going to come a little bit Pete Tong, I won't lie. Anyway, this pitching wedge does go just to the right of the pin. We putt through the fringe because I think after blading a couple of chips, I was like, oh no, that's not what I want. I don't want to be blading anymore. So I thought putting was the safe option, but I've misread it. And as you can see, it's just taken the slope. The greens were very, very nice. They were very, very quick as well. So yeah, just watch out for that if you end up down in Mijas for a game of golf, because they are pretty rapid. And as we make the turn, we are 9 over, which hurt, I won't lie. So we crank out a monster. I smashed the whole thing instantly. I also had a Powerade. I just wanted to get some sugars in because, yeah, it's just all going a bit wrong. Although at this stage, I kind of felt like this was a clean slate. I'd kind of left all of the stuff that happened at the start of the round with the, you know, the camera breaking and the phone breaking and my microphone not being on and stuff like that. I kind of left that all behind on the front 9. So now I've got a bit more of a clear head, and we are on to another par 5. So it's back-to-back par 5s. This one's a long one. It's 507 yards. It's weird because I hit this hybrid really well, but I think it was just poor course management because just where my hybrid lands is a whole load of these like wood chips, like really, really dense. It's kind of like the stuff you get at a kid's park. If you remember those from back in the day. So we land on it. I've got no idea how to hit this. It's about 80 yards away. So I think, you know, I opt for like a bunker shot. And my bunker shots recently, I've just been kind of like trying to punch the ball. So not letting my wrists hinge at all, just like kind of punch it. And my God, did it work out well. Look at that. From back there, we've got a birdie putt. We give it a good roll. I was pretty happy with it, but just left it short. I'm pretty sure that if given it the beans, it would have been in. But we do clear up for the par. So that's much, much better. We start off at just level through the first hole on the back 9. Really cool par 4. You've got all of these villas on the left, which if you are someone who hooks the ball or gets duck hook here or there, you're going to end up losing the ball and probably smashing a window. So that in mind, I am looking for a bit of a cut away from it, and you can see I'm actually already, it's funny watching back because I can already see issues. Like I thought I was aimed up the left side and I was cutting it, but actually I was already aimed up the middle and cutting it, hence why the ball ends up on the right hand side of the fairway here, rather than being right in the center, which is what I was kind of trying to do. Anyway, we hit a little wedge in. We haven't got far in. I think it was about 60 yards, and you can see here that the ball does get a little bit of spin. Oh, we do love it when the ball spins on the drone cam, and we now have a putt for birdie. It's a tricky one though. It's breaking the whole way, but look at that. He's read it perfectly, and in it goes to go back to 8 over through 11. That is much more of an attractive scorecard. Not brilliant, but still much better than like 11 over through 11, you know. Now, this is in my wheelhouse. I like to play a cut / I can hit a bit more of a cut, kind of like a slicey cut if I need to. And this hole was just calling for it because you had this netting all up the right-hand side. And I thought, man, I can do this. I set the drone up for this, and I just thought, you know what, absolutely pipe it. Look at that. Absolutely sent this ball. Got that drone cam on it with a tracer, looks good, and we end up bang in the middle of the fairway. I was thinking, powered up. We've just gone 1 over or 1 under through 2 holes on the back 9, and then yeah, all goes a little bit wrong. Pitching wedge again, and yeah, we end up in a bunker. Front right, just did not catch it. I think that I'd taken more club than I needed, so that shows how bad a shot it was. Now you're expected to see a ball. You're not going to, because I did a Scotty Scheffler, you know, when he shanked it out of the bunker. It went so far right, ended up over by these trees. So yeah, I'm a little bit rattled at this point. Didn't have a good lie. Ended up just blading that one through. And then the chip back across the green is no good either. So we're making a huge number here. Trying to make a double. Trying to save the double. Will it end up in? No, it does not. And we've still got work to do. But we do keep a level head, and we do roll that in to make a tasty triple. We're 11 over through 12. So after looking like a good start on the back 9, it's not looking so good anymore as we go 2 over through 3. Anyway, we cross the road, and now we get into a whole load of different kind of holes. This one's pretty cool. It's got like a really huge water like ravine up the left hand side. I knew I needed to cut that one away, so yeah, that was much more what I was intending to do on the hole 2 previous that I was talking about. So yeah, we leave ourselves a short one in. Unfortunately, I fan it out just slightly right. I thought it was in the bunker for a second. I was literally dreading it, but it does just go over again. Not trusting the wedges. It's just there's just mistakes that I should not be trying to roll that putt through that much sort of like long grass. and it does result in a bogey. So that's no good. We are now moving on to a par 3. This is probably their signature hole here at Mijas. Big shout out to them for letting me come out and record again. You know what, I cold emailed about 50 different courses on the Costa del Sol a couple years ago, and Mijas were the only ones that responded to me. So big shout out to them for having us not once but twice. Anyway, David hit a really nice shot here on this par 3 down the hill. It was about 160 yards, I think, maybe 170 yards to the pin. I took way too much club again, ended up a mile out the back, which was mildly frustrating to say the very least. And now I'm like, yeah, okay, we should be chipping here, and then I duff it, and now, you know what, I'm considering everything. I'm like, usually the short game is the strongest part of my game. Today it's definitely not. David unfortunately did not make his birdie putt after the really nice tee shot. We've got a long one coming down the hill. Very, very nervous about this one. You can see I'm walking it, and it rolled on a lot further than I was expecting. I was expecting that to stop halfway to the hole, but it got all the way there and passed, and we roll in the bogey putt. Now, this hole, I spoke to the starter, and he said that this hole was a par 4 because it was 400 yards, and now it's a par 5. I think the reason he was talking about this ravine that you can see at the bottom, he said that it's like basically it's like a 230 yard carry across that ravine. But yeah, if you wanted to lay back, you'd have like a shot that was like 240 yards into the green. So for players who can't hit the ball as far, I can understand why this would be a par 5, because they would always lay up in front of that ravine and then have like that 240 plus yard shot into the green. But for me, I hit driver. I almost got to the ravine all the way at the back, hence why this was quite a tricky shot. I didn't realise it'd end up this close. I had 170 yards in on a par 5, which doesn't seem right, to be honest. So maybe even less. I hit 6 iron. I didn't hit it great, as I haven't been striking any of the irons particularly well in this video. Did finally get a good chip off here. I was like, right, okay. Feels like a bit of a charitable birdie putt, I won't lie. I would say it's more like a par putt on a par 4, because that's what it used to be. But, you know, the rules are the rules, and you only play what's in front of you. So we make par there. Or if you guys want to call it a bogey, you can. Anyway, on to a par 3. This is hole number 16. Our scorecard is looking a lot stronger than it was. It's about 130 yards. It's not a long one. I hit a pitching wedge at this. My brother had just hit his pitching wedge. He's a lot taller than me and a lot stronger. I don't mind saying it. And he'd ended up in the bunker on the left. I managed to hit the green, but unfortunately just span off, which was a little bit frustrating. But we give it a good roll anyway. And then we tidy up for another par. So we put together a little string of pars here, 2 in a row. A little string is 2 pars, Tom. Come on now. Anyway, we're on to this hole, which is a par 4, not a particularly long one, and it was downwind. Now there's all this like that bark, those chipped wood things on the left hand side. Really, you should be laying back, but I just looked at it and I just thought, no, I just can't. I don't want to hit anything but driver, and I won't lie, I hit probably the best driver the entire day. I absolutely nuked it. Considering this hole is about, I think it's about 350 yards. I only had about 50 yards in, so that's like a 300 yard drive. And you can see the chip there actually almost dunked just a little slightly over to the right. Gave it a little bit too much. So now we're putting back for birdie. Can we make it? Go on! Unfortunately, it just rolls short. And yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think about this post-com, guys. Obviously, I am used to doing live com. So whilst I'm out on course, I'm talking to you guys. For this video, I just couldn't because of the microphone situation. But let me know if you like this style, and maybe I can look at doing it again in the future. Anyway, on to the final hole. It is another hole that's actually been reclassified. So it was a par 4, and now it's a par 5. Coming in at about the 440 yard mark. We absolutely smashed driver here. I genuinely smashed that so good. There was a couple of really good drives. I actually really enjoyed using that Cobra dark speed driver. Heard good things about it when it came out, and it definitely lived up to that. No Mizuno driver, don't get me wrong, but you know, it does its thing. We hit a decent shot in here. Sadly, it just fans out to the right, ends up in the bunker from about 170 yards. We get out of the bunker, but again, we found one of those tricky side slopes. We've got a birdie putt here. Will we make it? We read it right, but we just don't quite give it enough. We roll it in for a par. So a really good back 9, 4 over for the back 9, 9 over for the front. And let's see if David can clean up his final putt here. No worries. He absolutely smashed me, by the way, in the match play. He had about 15 shots on me. So there you go. That is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see another video from me, just click on the screen now.